Hi, it's Lala Flower Girl. Welcome back. Today I'm going to do a little tutorial on different enclosures for turkeys as requested by Sabrinermae, I believe, on my YouTube. One of my videos she asked about turkey enclosures, so I thought I would just do some quick versions of different ideas that I've come up with over the time. But before I do, if you could like and subscribe, that would be amazing. And also please excuse my voice, I've been a little bit sick, but I still wanted to get some stuff out there for you guys. Alright, so here we go. I've got my turkeys and I set them up on a little island by themselves, because then they don't jump off the edges and they don't wander around, they don't get out. Generally I try and keep my animals on a little island or with a high fence, and some I don't put a roof on it though, because as your island loads in, your animals may load in after the roof, so that's why they end up on the roof, is just that when it's loading in, they don't always load in before the roof, so then they get plopped on top of the roof. So that's how that happens. It's not that they jump out, it's quite often it's just that when you're spawning in, they just spawn in after the roof and end up on the roof. Alright, so here we have our different versions. I've set up 4 different versions, and I'm sure there are way more on my other account. I've got my turkeys set up as part of a pancake factory, so that's a completely different way of doing it as well. So I'm not going to do that one today, but I can show you at some point. I can do that when that island is ready for showing. It's in the middle of being rebuilt, so I can do a tour of that one when I finish it, which is probably going to be a long time and I'll probably forget all about it. But anyway, well, back to the turkeys. So this is the first one, the one that I actually use, and you can find all of the workbenches. The maple workbench has got all of the berry basket, industrial and normal to make it, so it doesn't take a lot to make the industrial one. You can use them, make them fairly easily, and then you just join them on and the turkeys just automatically do it. So they'll pick the raspberries and they'll drop them off. Now you have to have turkeys to harvest raspberries. You cannot harvest them yourself. Just as a side note, a lot of people ask, how do I get them? They're broken. They're not broken, you just need turkeys to do that. Now I set this one up with an auto feeder because I was playing the game when berry totems were available, and I bought a few. I didn't buy lots, I just bought a couple of each. So I was fortunate enough to have a berry totem in my inventory, so I use that over here to pick the red berries. And I don't want the turkey to pick the red berries, because the turkey will not just eat the red berries, but they will drop them off here as well, and then they'll get all confused in the chest. So I just want raspberries here, so I only feed them in the trough. So he does his thing there. So I've got another version over here. So over on this one, similar setup over there. I've got my auto berry basket, and I've got my raspberries, but I've got a manual trough so that I can fill that up with berries, and he can eat the berries and still give me the raspberries. He will just eat the raspberries and feed himself, but then he won't drop off as many. So if you feed them, they'll drop all the raspberries off. Okay, so if you feed them with red berries, so they do like red berries. And over on this version, this is one I did a video on how turkeys are essentially berry totems, so they pick all the berries. So I've got all of the different berries here, and they will pick them all. So he will probably eat some red berries, and then he'll drop off everything else that he doesn't eat. So you don't really need to feed this one, because he's just gonna feed himself. I mean, you can put a trough here and feed him as well, but he can just eat some of those and then drop them off. And I've got them going into the same berry basket, and I'm using filter conveyors to push them off to the sides. And how you do that is I'll take the blackberries out, and so to tell the filter conveyor what you want it to do is you push on the item, so blackberries, and then this select will come up, and then you select it and it will go to that side. So that is going to come in this way and out that way, and then the blueberries are going in here and out that way, and the raspberries and the red berries are going to go straight through, and they're going to go to the next conveyor, so the next filter. So, and I've got them set up to pick up those ones. So I'm getting the blackberries will go this side and the blueberries this side, and then the others are going through here, so you're able to separate them. And it just means you don't have to like pick them up, because if you have the raspberries or whatever happens to go into the chest first, that's the one that will get pushed through to the next chest if you leave it long enough. But generally you could just have this with one, and then as long as you pick up your berries quite often, but this way you can kind of like set it up and forget about it for a few days and then go and collect it all. Okay, and the last one that I've got over here, which is one of the probably the very easiest and most basic setups, is you just have a trough to feed and raspberries and berry baskets. So you could even have this set up like this without the feeders and they would still drop them off, but you generally, if you feed them what they want, like you feed your animals, they will be happier and they will produce more. So instead of eating the raspberries, they'll drop them off because they're eating the red berries. So yeah, that's how I do all of my turkeys. So it's a progression thing. But if you've got all the stuff to do this setup, definitely do this one, because you don't have to come back and feed them all the time. So this is the one that I normally use if I have turkeys. So yeah, and I have collected, but I don't actually really need it at the moment. I've got lots of raspberries for now, but if you're going to set it up, this is the one that I use. Alright, but you guys can use any of these designs, I don't mind. Mix them up, mix and match, do whatever you like, whatever works for you, whatever stuff you have, whatever you can afford, do that. And yeah, good luck with your turkeys, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.